of Evil.
This is a Hammer film from the early 70s when they started throwing in the sex and nudity and things.
Yeah.
These were two Playboy playmates who were twins. Where I think they did this movie after they did their Playboy thing. But that was the first twins in Playboy.
Wow.
I'd like to suck their blood.
Okay, what's this is brainstorm. What's the
story of this?
Story behind this film? Dave?
Natalie Wood drops dead after being pushed over the rail by Christopher Walken.
It was
And she
never known
drowns.
what happened to Natalie Wood.
Oh, but they reopened the case for like 8 minutes last year, didn't they?
Did they?
They were reinvestigating and concluded basically nothing.
Christopher Walken and her ex-husband or husband?
Robert Wagner?
Robert Wagner were on a boat, and all of a sudden Natalie Wood falls off and drowns, and nobody knows anything about it.
After some kind of fight between Christopher Walken and Robert Wagner.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, boy, there's nothing suspicious going on, other than the fact that she hated water and was out on a boat.
Now, this is all of those films collected. Tappy Toes, which was what? Happy Feet?
Happy Feet.
The Frog Prince, that was that Disney film.
Chop Kick Panda.
It was Kung Fu Panda, right?
Yeah.
And Puss in Boots.
This?
Which is Puss in Boots.
These are the rip-off films based on all the recent Disney and whatever.
Chopkick Panda.
Right. Huh, I wonder what they're ripping off there, Dave.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty damn funny,
I'm gonna
though.
watch them.
Get them all.
I wanted to see that Tappy Toes. It's just so ridiculous.
You know what I saw recently? And I said it before. It was so bad. It's the remake of the Pink Panther with Steve Martin.
Uh-huh.
God, all I'm going to say is god awful. He's like a gay Clouseau. It was god awful.
You can't beat Peter Sellers.
No, and I think they made a sequel to it.
Yeah, part 2, yep.
That's all I'm going to say. All right, Ed, go ahead, Ed.
Okay, we're going to talk about some Frankenstein films. Now, we were asking Lilac before we started taping here, and it's interesting to see how, people who are 26, you said your age, or 25 now, if these Frankenstein films are continuing and if people know about them. Right. So what do you know about the Frankenstein films?
That there's a funny one.
There you go.
That's in black and white, right? Is it black and white?
Right? Do you know what the funny one is?
Is it Young Frankenstein?
Right.
that.
It's good.
Oh!
Wow.
And that's the guy from, is it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is on it.
Gene Wilder.
Yay! And they do a dance thing in it, and that's all I got. That's all I got out of it.
She's got it. Well,
It's the only one she knows. She's
I know,
telling you the
I'm
whole
just-
film, which is really
74 is ancient to her.
Right.
Going back to 31, we can't.
right.
Yeah, they're putting on the Ritz, the classic dance number from Young Frankenstein.
Yep.
Of course, they have the play. But we're going way back to 1931
Right.
with the original Frankenstein. Have you seen the original Frankenstein with Boris Karloff?
No.
And the classic Jack Pierce makeup.
We have the trailer we can take a look at while we're talking
All right,
about the
let's show that.
original Frankenstein. What was first, Frankenstein or Dracula, Dave?
I think Dracula.
It was, because they were
first.
going to put Bela Lugosi in Frankenstein. He didn't want to do it.
Right, but he ended up playing Frankenstein later on.
Right.
And, geez, I don't know which one he played in.
Meets the Wolfman.
Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, yeah, you're right. There's, I think that's Colin Clive as Victor Frankenstein. And there's Boris Karloff. This not being the first Frankenstein film, though, Ed. 1910, the original Frankenstein from Thomas Edison Studios was a 16-minute short. And then in 15, they did a film called Life Without Soul about a doctor who creates a soulless man. But it turns out the events were dreamed as the doctor fell asleep reading the Frankenstein book. Which, Lilac, did you know it was a book first?
No.
Oh, there you go. Written by Mary Shelley.
Wow.
Back in 1819, 1820, somewhere around there.
Somewhere.
It was called Frankenstein, I think, the Modern Prometheus.
Right, not to be confused with the Ridley Scott film, which is out now.
A little tidbit of info here with Boris Karloff. He took out, I think he had some either dentures or bridges.
Right.
And he took them out to get that sunken in look in his cheeks. But this was one of the first horror films that...
And he was 40 or so when he did this. And
he would have been about 44, 45. I think he was born in 1887.
Yeah.
When he made this film. And then the follow-ups, of course, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein.
I have a comment when we get to the Bride of Frankenstein, Dave. I'm sure you know. Let's go right into the Bride of Frankenstein while we're going. I don't know how many of these we'll do tonight. Maybe we'll do a couple. Then we'll go on and do our Now and Then.
Bride from 1935, by the way. The original was 31. And in this one he speaks.
Yes.
Few words.
Also, everyone except Boris Karloff in this film, pretty much gay, Dave.
You're right.
The director was gay.
Colin Clive was.
The doctor was gay. The Polydorus, the guy who comes and helps out, is gay. Even the bride was rumored to be gay, wasn't she?
Elsa Lancaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And it was a good old time on the set.
I'm sure it was. What was it? Was it
Gods and Monsters, if you ever watched
James
that
Whale?
film.
Is that the director?
Yes.
That's a good movie, Gods and Monsters.
Yeah. But this is really good. And it's a little campy. But if you're going to see one, you should see this one, Lilac, if this is on the Netflix.
Why? Because there's the love story.
Yeah,
Well,
it's more visual. It's the first one's kind of clunky. I don't even think there's any music in it, is there?
I don't think there is at all. Because in the first one, when they first unveil his face, the camera like jumps in, and there's absolutely no sound at all. Son of Frankenstein with Sherlock Holmes.
Basil Rathbone.
That's right.
What do you mean, Son of Frankenstein?
There it is, Son of Frankenstein.
But
With Basil
he
Rathbone.
making another one? Like another Frankenstein?
No, I think the son referring to the doctor.
Oh.
I like the Son of Frankenstein as one of my favorites.
It's not one of my favorites, Dave.
I did like it.
Yeah, Frankenstein is the doctor, not the monster.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
people are confused.
Victor Frankenstein.
It's the Frankenstein.
So what's the monster's name?
There's Bela Fiend, Creature, It, the monster.
Oh, I changed my mind, Dave. I do like this one.
Well, because the guy with the wooden arm.
No, Bela Lugosi's Igor is good in this. That's the highlight. Because the monster doesn't do much in this one.
No, not much at all. But it's I like this one. In the Bride of Frankenstein, like I said, he spoke a few words, and then in this one, the creature no longer speaks, as Karloff did not like that idea.
Let's see. Should we do one more? Or should we go to the other game, Dave? What do you say?
That's just
Do one more.
One more?
One more.
Dave says one more. Lilac says,
Yeah, but she's too young. Too young. So
too young for all these things.
The acting looks like it could be pretty decent, right?
Yeah, well, it's not.
Yeah, well, it's not.
The acting's okay.
It's okay, but it's it's that 30s style acting.
There's a different style and.
Freaking out.
Was this one of the Universal ones?
This is the Ghost of Frankenstein.
Oh, that's got to be Glenn Strange. No, maybe that's not Glenn Strange.
This is
Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney.
That's got to be that's Lon Chaney Jr.
Who usually played the Wolfman.
Yes.
Right
Lawrence Talbot.
This wasn't a great one, was it?
No, this is one of Universal's. Universal got into this gig and did like 5 of these. They did Ghost, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Those are all Universal films. And see, in this one, he's a little jowly.
He's a little heavy for Frankenstein. Lon Chaney. This was okay. I like Igor in this again, but
I tell you, in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, which was okay. Bela Lugosi played Frankenstein in that one, and I thought he was pretty good as Frankenstein.
Well, the problem
as the creature. I'm sorry.
Yes. The problem with that is he was playing. Frankenstein was blind at the end of this one. And that's what Bela Lugosi was playing in that one. He was wandering around a little bit. But they cut out the scenes where explaining that he was blind.
Ooh, look at that big swing. Wow. God, that wouldn't have knocked over my daughter. And of course, Ed, we would be remiss if we don't say, please go to the House of Frankenstein in Lake George.
I was just going to say, we're giving away tickets momentarily, Dave.
Momentarily.